Congress voted to expel New York Republican Representative George Santos. Santos lasted less than a year in his role and is now facing several federal charges, to which he is not pleading guilty. The charges by the Justice Department include fraudulent use of campaign funds on personal expenses and fraudulent unemployment benefits. The bipartisan ethics community also found evidence of lies, including lying about being Jewish, the college he went to, and that his mother was a victim of the 9/11 attack at the World Trade Center. The final vote count was 311 to 114, including all 4 of Utah's House Republicans. The Constitution states 2/3 vote is required to expel a member of Congress. Santos will be the 6th member in the chamber's history to be expelled, the 3rd since the Civil War.
A pregnant woman in Texas is fighting courts to have an abortion after finding out her baby would likely be born stillborn or die shortly after birth. On December 5th, a Texas judge gave her permission to receive an abortion, but the state Supreme Court put the decision on hold. According to the women's attorneys, this is the first lawsuit of its kind in the U.S. since Roe v. Wade overturned in 2022.
Now let's go to Hannah Moore for an update on the state of the Great Salt Lake.
Utah is home to one of the largest saline lakes in the Americas. The Great Salt Lake, however, last year in November 2023, hit a new historic low of 4,188.5 feet. But then when the winter hit, it gained 5.5 feet back from water runoff and rain.
I met with KSL.com's very own Dan Spindle, who is the anchor for the morning and noon news, over the phone, who told me about a news series he produced about the Great Salt Lake.
So it's kind of this abstract idea. Why do I care about the Great Salt Lake? So that I kind of took that question in the stories that I was doing and asked the experts with whom I spoke about that. Okay, why should we care?
Thanks to this summer's high heats, the water level has gone down about 3.5 feet. But the rain and snow came around before it could reach the record low again. Becca Downard with the Utah Geological Survey mentioned that most of the water runoff from the snowpack did not reach the lake.
Yeah, I was really curious what would happen this year because we had like a 900-inch snowpack, and the lake did come up 5 feet, but the way our water rights work, as that snow melt ran off, we had to fill our reservoirs before that.
It's hard to tell what the future will hold for the lake, but authorities know that it is vital to the health and welfare of Utah citizens. So nonprofit organizations and big companies encourage educating yourself on how to become water wise and how to help in the fight to preserve the lake.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm curious to see what effect this season's snowpack will have. Have you ever wondered what happens after you flush a toilet? Reporter Leo Beck went to the Central Davis Sewer District to find out.
Mysterious systems are set up in order to keep the world spinning seamlessly. For example, where does your trash go? Or what happens after you flush the toilet? Today, I'm here at Central Davis Sewer District to learn more.
We handle the sewage from the cities of Kaysville, Farmington, and Fruit Heights. So everything in your house that drains to a drain, your showers, your dishwashers, your toilets, your sinks, all of that goes into a pipe in the ground that then makes its way to us.
All drains lead to the sewer system, but what does the district actually do?
We biologically treat the sewage. We take those are called biosolids. They're still very nutrient rich, and we either land apply them to our fields, we compost them, or the wintertime, because of the odor issue, we take them to a landfill out in Pastuilla. We disinfect the liquid side, and we discharge it into the Farmington Bay area of Great Salt Lake. So we're helping put the water back into the lake.
The district also has labs that test the water. What are they testing for?
I check the pH, I check the dissolved oxygen, and I check the total residual chlorine in regards to the final effluent. So I grab a sample, and I have to do it within the 15-minute span is what our procedures say.
Keeping all the chemicals in line is important for the release into the Salt Lake. After all this work, how does it feel to not be thought about?
We love that people don't think of us. Just be mindful that even though it can get flushed down, does not mean it should be flushed down.
From front to back, Central Davis Sewer Systems does a lot for us and the environment. Let's just be more mindful on what we put in our toilets. Pee, poop, paper. That's it. I'm Leo Beck from Weber State University, Ogden.
Thanks, Leo. From what goes out to what goes in, let's look at how Utah's air quality affects us all. It's no surprise that Utah has bad air quality. Weber State University professor and head of the anatomy program, Brian Chung, shows us what impact that has on our lungs.
So both these lungs show evidence of poor air quality that an individual like a student nowadays might also show, but we have to factor in that these individuals grew up in a time where we didn't really control air quality, and now we are knowledgeable of what the effects of air quality are.
The lungs on the left belong to a 69-year-old male who never smoked. His lungs show what air pollution alone can do to your lungs. The lungs on the right belong to a 95-year-old who smoked his whole life. Utah's air pollution added to the damage from smoking.
Inflicting damage on your lungs can also, in some people, if they're predisposed to this, also inflict damage on other mucous membranes. So other mucous membranes of the body include your reproductive system, your digestive system, and your eyes.
According to the Utah Department of Public Health and Human Services, the bad air in Utah is caused by ozone and particulate matter.
It's clear that STEM developments are beneficial to us. Let's get back to Leo Beck to see how a University of Utah professor is working to make STEM programs and education more accessible to youth.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The STEM program allows students to pursue careers in those categories. But that brings up the question of, what about the students who don't have the same opportunities? I am in the U of U Innovation Lab to meet Professor Tony Butterfield to learn more about the Chemical Engineering Outreach Program. What do they do?
We put together teaching modules. Our department is gracious enough to pay our students to do paid outreach to local schools, but not just local schools. We will go to a variety of community events and a variety of communities, both urban and rural.
How new is this program? What have they done so far, and where have they gone?
We've been to many places in the region. We will go to schools that don't get traditionally any attention from large universities. So we've gone, kind of southeastern, southwestern Utah, south middle Utah, but we just got back from a trip up through Wyoming to the Wind River Reservation to visit the Arapaho people. We're hoping to focus more on those types of rural communities because they are 5 hours away from a large university, and really they haven't gotten a lot of deserved attention from the STEM community.
In the future, they plan to expand to other communities and travel more throughout the year. Their goal is to bring the same engineering opportunities to rural communities and to create a spark in the younger generation in hopes that they find their engineering passion. I'm Leo Beck from Weber State University, Ogden.
That's great to see. Thanks for sharing that story, Leo. Weber State is branching out its own STEM program too. Wildcat News reporter Park Ramani got to take a close look at the 3D printer from Mars.
This is the Miller Advanced Research and Solutions Center, known otherwise as MARS, in Clearfield, Utah. Acquired by Weber State University in the last half of 2022, the center offers a unique, innovative program for mechanical engineering students using its 3D printer to print composite material that can be used as parts for high-tech applications. Not just any 3D printer, the Impossible Objects Composite-Based Additive Manufacturing System, or CBAM-2, is one of two west of the Mississippi. With Hill Air Force Base in close proximity, Weber State has partnered with the base to print parts for legacy aircrafts not in production anymore.
A large focus here is that we want to work with Hill Air Force Base, we want to work with Northrop Grumman and the various aerospace industries here to be able to help them with their material development.
Dr. Devin Young mentors students like Cage Vigil, a senior in the mechanical engineering program, and works at the Mars Center as a student research assistant.
The materials we're working with, no one else really has. They're generally very small operations that are really only occurring through here, and that's the point of the Mars facility, is to bring in new complex projects, especially centering around new materials research, and that's pretty much the point of the building and the program here, is to offer a really unique situation to students.
The center aims to bring in more unique pieces of technology that has capabilities that's not commonly found to develop new and exciting research projects for students to gain more experience. This is Par at Weber State University Mars Center for Wildcat News.
It'll be interesting to see what developments that leads to. Thanks, Par. Weber State University has partnered with the United Way of Northern Utah for a book drive to improve literacy and access to books in the Ogden community. More than 2/3 of low-income families in Ogden don't have access to books. The student engagement coordinator, Teresa Martinez, says it's heartbreaking to see many children with no books. For children whose first language is not English, it can be extra hard to access books in their native language. She adds that it's her goal to ignite a passion for reading in children by providing them with books tailored to their interests. To motivate these children to read more, there are many libraries similar to tiny buildings placed in Ogden neighborhoods for anyone to take a book for free at any time. Finals week can be stressful. Sometimes you just need a break from all the studying. Weber State University held its late night breakfast event at the Shepherd's Union last Thursday night. The event drew crowds of students looking to blow off some steam ahead of finals week.
You know, we have a lot of students on campus studying late. They need to have the opportunity to, eat something nutritious, but also have a lot of fun. So it's an important finals event, and we really are excited that the union decided to put it on this year. I think we talk about belonging a lot on campus, and belonging is something super important that we find in events like these, where people can gather together, eat food together, enjoy games together, and win prizes. So there's a number of activities going on. We actually have Jessica Euler and a number of our staff and administration serving breakfast today, as well as we have a lot of bowling happening behind me, as well as billiards, a lot of fun games happening.
Students spent the late hours of the night bowling, playing billiards games, socializing, and eating food that was prepared and handed out by the university employees. WSU put on this event in hopes that it can be an escape for students during this hectic part of the year.
Now that the semester is ending, Weber State students have more time to enjoy the holiday festivities. Here's a few that are happening around Ogden. The Ogden Christmas Village will be lit up and lit until January 1st. The lights at the Christmas Village are turned on at 5 p.m. every night. The second on our list is Imagine Ballet Theater presenting The Nutcracker on December 15th and 16th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets cost $15 to $30 depending on where you sit. Curie's Egyptian Theater is hosting a classic movie series and will be showing The Grinch on December 21st. Tickets will run $7.
So are you going to go see the Christmas Village this Christmas?
I think I will. I really like going to it, and it would be really nice. I haven't gone yet.
Yeah, I think it's better for, it just makes it better for. This is Wildcat News at Weber State. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Elsie Uwase.
And I'm Kennedy Camarina.
Come back next fall to catch the news made for Wildcat
by Wildcat.
Good night
and happy holidays.